Hey there, Cynical One. Hope you're having a great afternoon. Good to see you. All right, so I guess I can go ahead and jump right into this. It's pretty much about the National Guard finally being deployed in the city. Um, there's been some talk about it for almost a month or so. Um, in the midst of the National Guard being in Washington D.C. and before that, the Los Angeles area, due to ICE, and immigration issues and things like that. But they're here to get a handle on crime, I guess, because there's already been a Safe Streets task force already in the city, but a lot of people were thinking the National Guard was already here. But the truth is they just got deployed in the city 2 days ago, which was Friday. So it's been federal agents here already for about the past 10 days or so. Um, U.S. Marshals, ATF agents, uh, the THP, which is the Tennessee Highway Patrol. We had an influx of them, mainly on the interstates, pulling people over, issuing tickets to people that have tint on their windows that is too dark or whatever. There's been a lot of that going on, and they're going after people. They really targeting people also with these paper bogus drive-out tags, and that's been a thing around here for about a good 10 years, I know. But all that came to a screeching halt about a week ago. But a lot of people were thinking that they were already here, but no, they wasn't here. That was the task force that Trump put together. Trump and the state governor, pretty much. And the task force, pretty much like the people that I mentioned, the agencies that I mentioned, which is the ATF, the U.S. Marshals, Tennessee Highway Patrol, and federal agents. Now, the federal agents they're pretty much in unmarked cars pulling people over. So, but I guess people were getting them confused with the National Guard. I don't know, but the National Guard just arrived Friday, and now I didn't see them myself, but I've seen posts and news reports, and they were filmed walking around downtown, and they were at the Bass Pro Shops, which is in the Pyramid, and so a lot of people are like, "What are they doing there? You know what they sightseeing for? They need to be in these high crime areas." So you got a lot of people here that are saying that this is all for show, because to me and a lot of people, the task force pretty much did all the work. I mean, they netted almost 600 arrests, and a lot of them were warrants. People wanted for warrants, and they confiscated over 100 firearms, and this is all done within a week's time. So the National Guard finally gets here, and so now we got to see what they're going to do. If they're really going to help, because they're saying that it's going to be like 150 of them being deployed into the streets. So, and a lot of people are like, good, we need them here. We need them to clean up the city. But I'm like, well, they can't be everywhere. It's only 150 of them. Unless you're going to have them posted up at every corner, every corner posted up, every event with their arms folded, or how is this gonna work? And at first, the governor was saying that they were going to be unarmed, but in these videos, they are clearly strapped. All right. So the media has asked about them being armed, but no comment. No response has been made as of late. I mean, a lot of people was wondering what are they going to do when they're not armed? I mean, what are they going to do? They going to do landscape work or what? But turns out they are going to be armed with weaponry. Yeah. So just can't do nothing but see what happens. But I do know this: people are not treating the interstate as if it's the Indy 500 or the Autobahn over there in Europe, where the Autobahn is where you don't have a speed limit. You can drive as fast as you want. That's over there in Europe, though. I don't remember the exact country, but there's no speed limit over there. And that's what people have been treating the interstates like here in Memphis, as if it's the Autobahn. They've been going as fast as they want. 70, 80, 90 miles an hour, you name it, Until the past week or so. Everybody driving like they got some sense. People are actually driving below 65 miles an hour, even in the left-hand lane. I mean, this has got folks spooked, boy. I tell you, they it's a trip. So now you almost guaranteed to see a state trooper have somebody pulled over. I mean, they out here even in the wee hours of the morning. They is out here, but for some people, the question remains whether or not the National Guard being deployed into cities doing patrols is constitutional. When I was just reading something and it said that if the president deployed the troops, then that might be true. But when they're under the control of the state governor, then that's when they can be deputized by the state governor to do patrols. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Now, when the president does it, it's usually in the midst of a riot, like when you got a lot of people burning stuff and looting, and or like what happened up there in Minneapolis with George Floyd, you know, and others. That's when they're just there to dispel the turmoil or whatever. But this time they're actually doing patrols, so it's about to get real interesting around here. And then they're saying they're gonna be here for a few months. I'm like, whoa. They're talking maybe 3 or 4 months. But again, the task force pretty much did all the work. So I'm wondering what's left for them to do besides walking around in army fatigues or standing up, posting up in army fatigues. It's gonna be real interesting. So yeah, they showed some walking up to the welcoming center, and they was dapping it up with the security guard and everything. I said, look at this. Well, the way the security guard looks, like he was all for it, like he was happy to have him here. But this is the first time that, well, this is my first time ever seeing him in my lifetime, because the last time they came here, I wasn't born. And that was in 1968 when Martin Luther King was assassinated. That was the last time they was here. And that was 57 years ago. Yeah. So all this National Guard stuff is a new thing to me. The task force, not so much. You know, we've been had multiple agencies here collaborating to get a handle on things, but this here is going to be different. We're going to see how this play out, because you got some people saying that it's unconstitutional for them to make arrests, but then you have it's kind of complex, because you got some people saying that they can make arrests if they're deputized by the state governor and the local authorities. So everybody just, on the sidelines, speculating and playing the wait and see game. Wait and see. That's all you can do. But right now, I will say that a lot of people are saying it's a lot quieter. It's a lot quieter in the streets. You don't hear as many gunshots as you used to, and that's because all the ones that were allegedly causing the problem, they're in hiding now. They're in the house chilling. So the only people that's left to be shaken down are the people that are out here going back and forth to work. They getting pulled over for expired tags, a tail light that's out, or a drive out tag, which is a temporary tag. A lot of people call them drive out tags here, because you get to drive off the lot when you first buy it. Drive out tag. But that's been an issue for a while here. People with the bogus drive out tags, temporary tags. Yeah, all that's coming to an end. So it's a lot of people here that are having a sigh of relief that they're here, and people are like, now I can feel safe to come outside. All this stuff. Some people just act like like we're in Iraq or something over here. But I think the social media and the news outlets have a lot to do with it because that's all they push out there. You know of somebody getting shot. That's on the news they show. And public perception is a thing, unfortunately. And if that's all that people hear, then they're going to believe it. They're going to believe that they're in Iraq or Afghanistan or somewhere. But hey, I get up here and I go where I want. I don't be worried about that stuff. People act like it's bad all over the city. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's just certain areas, and it may seem like it because it's a majority black city, but nah, it's not a war zone all over the city. Just to keep it real, people are just overreacting and buying into the propaganda. That's all it is. Yeah. So there you have it. There you have it. National Guard finally here. But I say finally, it's not that I was an advocate for it because these agencies are already you know moving the needle, so to speak, as far as making the streets quieter. I guess I don't know. And I wasn't an advocate for it because I was concerned about the thing called racial profiling. And like I said, people were getting pulled over for having dark tint and things like that. And I was concerned about people getting harassed for nothing, you know. So, but they just got here Friday, so I can't do nothing but see what happens next. And like I said earlier, people were thinking that the National Guard was already here over a week ago, but that was just the Memphis Safe Streets Task Force, which is all those agencies combined: the DEA, ATF, U.S. Marshals, Tennessee Highway Patrol, federal agents in unmarked cars and things like that. Yeah, that's who's been here doing all the work. So, but anyway, but it's well, me personally, I haven't seen any guardsmen in fatigues yet. I guess because I don't live in one of the hot spots for crime. I guess that's where they're supposedly going in those type of areas. But all I've seen is the state troopers pulling people over. That's all I've seen. For the most part. For the most part. But if you riding around legit, you got your tags up to date, your license good, you got car insurance. You shouldn't have nothing to worry about. You ain't got no dark tint. Your tint is at 15%. I think that's the legal darkness limit. I think the real dark tint is 5%. So as long as you ain't riding around with 5% tint, you should be all right. You ain't speeding. You shouldn't have nothing to worry about. You ain't riding dirty, you should be all right. You should be good. Yeah. So that's pretty much all I got to talk about right now. Yeah, I was gonna go live about this yesterday while I was driving with my GoPro, but the personal hotspot on my phone wasn't cooperating. So I just said, well, I'll just go live about it tomorrow, and here I am. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what's going on right now. That's pretty much what's going on. And I really wish I was able to go live yesterday because I was riding through the Mississippi Delta, on the way back again, and they got this time of year, all them cotton plants be sprouting up. It's the harvest season for cotton, and I was going up and down the highway. That's pretty much all I was seeing. That white cotton, um, a sea of cotton, and sometimes that's a sight to see. It makes you think about certain stuff. But wasn't able to go live due to my hotspot not wanting to act right. So they did not want to act right. So I just postponed it till now. But that's pretty much gonna do it. I gave y'all the rundown on the National Guards and the current consensus concerning them in the city, and I probably keep y'all updated. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for watching, and make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button, and I will holla at you later. Peace.